The short answer? Probably not. If you can do anything else and be happy, don't become a pastor. Pastoral ministry shouldn't be your job unless it's your joy. Becoming a pastor is something you should only do if you can't not do it. There has to be this inevitability about it, this sense of you can't imagine not doing this. The world does not need more Christians to do ministry inside the church. The world needs more Christians to do ministry in their businesses and in hospitals and in schools and in everyday life that is outside the walls of the church. So my advice to most Christians is, yes, you are called to ministry, but if you can do ministry outside the church and not as a pastor, then by all means, don't become a pastor. A good friend of mine debated for a long time about should he go to seminary and become a pastor, but eventually he decided to go into education and became a school administrator, and he treats that like a ministry. He deals with kids that are living in terrible situations and have all kinds of discipline problems, and he sees it as his ministry, his mission to love these kids and to help them as much as he can. That's his ministry, and I think it's way better that he did that than become a pastor in a church, because we need those kind of people in education and in lots of other jobs as well. So if you can do anything else and be happy and see it as your ministry, then do something else and don't become a pastor. Now, that being said, if you still feel called and compelled to be a pastor, you feel like you can't not become a pastor, then keep in mind that it's not just up to you. Think about becoming a pastor as a three-legged stool. There are three parties involved in the process of discerning whether or not you should become a pastor. There's you, yourself, obviously, your own desire, your own sense of call. But then there's also the Holy Spirit, and whether or not the Holy Spirit is actually calling and equipping you to become a pastor. And then the third party is the church itself. It's not enough just to say, well, I feel called and I'm pretty sure the Holy Spirit is gifting me to do this, so I'm just going to go off and do it. You need to leave room for the church to agree with you and to prayerfully consider whether or not they think you are being called to serve them as a pastor, and whether or not they see the gifts of the Holy Spirit within you for pastoral ministry. Because if they don't, then you shouldn't do it. Now, this is true whether you're non-denominational or part of a big denominational structure. Either way, you need to consider the church's voice in whether or not you should become a pastor. So there's yourself, the Holy Spirit, and the church. Those are the three parties that help decide whether or not you are called to pastoral ministry. I hope this was helpful, and whatever your ministry ends up being, God bless you, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.